Eddie, we were talking about how this fight might play out. And I think the biggest factor is, can Liam Paro survive 12 rounds? Because we've seen guys like Ponce, like Ergashev, kind of unload the clip against Matias early on, but then he just wears you down. Like, is that the biggest factor in this fight?
You have to be able to really absorb punishment against Subriel Matias. I mean, you're not going to go in there and outfight. So you've got to be smart. You've got to be good with your feet. And Liam's all of those things. So it really comes down to the punishment that you can absorb. Because if you go 12 rounds with this guy, you're not getting out, unscathed. This guy is scary, he's dangerous, he hits extremely hard, his work rate is incredible, he backs you up, he'll put you under pressure. It will be like a furnace of noise in there on Saturday night. It's going to be wild, 10,000 fans. And Liam is a real calm guy. I like Liam's mentality, I like his ability, I like his style, but he's never been under pressure like this from a puncher with the volume of Subriel Matias. And that's really going to be... This fight is as much about Liam Paro as it is about Subriel Matias. We know what Subriel does.
Eddie, the longer you're staying in this game, the more you're thinking like a fighter. You just pretty much said exactly what the game plan is for him to win. That's exactly what he needs to do. But how is he going to take that punch from Matias? He will get hit, but can he roll with the punch? Can he take the steam off that power? That's what I want to see how he's going to react. Liam Paro is a southpaw. He's going to use those southpaw angles. If he can back up Matias, get the monster to get on his back foot, then Paro's coming in with a game plan and a strategy, and he has a fight IQ to execute that. The quieter the 10,000 Puerto Ricans are, the better Liam Paro is doing. So the quieter it is, the better it is for Paro.
I feel in these kind of fights, the start is so important. Like you see a lot of guys who start against a puncher and against someone who's aggressive that really take a lot of punishment in those opening 3 or 4 rounds. You don't want to be doing that. If you start getting marked up, hurt to the body, go back to your stall after 2, 3, 4 rounds, it's too long a night. Somehow Liam's got to find a way to not go 6-0 down, but also to sort of hit the back stretch unscathed with the energy, with the still the body armour in place to actually take it to Matias. But that's why I asked the question up there about the pressure on Subriel Matias. He's been an away fighter a lot of his time. He hasn't had this kind of attention before. When he walks, it might turn him into a more dangerous animal.
Right.
Or sometimes when you're fighting in your hometown, there's more pressures and more people around you trying to ask for tickets, trying to, they're bugging you in the morning. Where's the after party? All this kind of stuff. So he looks like a focused guy to me, but don't rule out Liam Paro. He's a smart guy who can really fight, and I like this matchup.
What have you learned about the confidence of Matias since we're promoting him for the last few months? Because he's admitted he doesn't have the prettiest technique, he doesn't have the greatest footwork, but he's as confident as it gets that guys cannot finish fights with him.
Yeah, every one of his victories has come inside the distance. First, he's a guy that has, he's never been spoon-fed anything. He will jump in with any 140-pounder in the world. Like, he's not difficult to do a deal with. We just need to raise his profile to the point where fight fans are calling for him against Teofimo Lopez. You've got a situation at the moment. Teofimo Lopez is fighting Steve Claggett. Let's be real. That's a waste of everybody's time, right? Lopez is an incredible fighter. Teofimo against Subriel Matias in a unification is one of the best matchups in boxing. But you've got to have the guys who see the value in fighting Subriel Matias. So if you're a superstar like Teo, you're going to want a fortune to get in a ring with Subriel Matias. You'd hope it would be the lure of unifying the division, but the game doesn't always work like that. So you need contenders that are willing to roll the dice. And fair play to Liam Paro. I'm telling you now, we went through a list of opponents for Matias. No one wanted him, especially in Puerto Rico. Now, it's one thing fighting Subriel Matias in your own hometown.
Right.
Fighting him in his hometown, I mean, it's almost mission impossible. But Liam will give it a great go, and he's very competent. But beyond that, it's about making the fights big enough. What we need, what Matias needs on Saturday night, is an unbelievable performance where the whole boxing community and casual fight fans are going, stick him in with Haney, stick him in with Teofimo, stick him in with Ryan Garcia, stick him in with Tank, whoever. There's no problem on his side. You ain't got to worry about Matias. He's a scary guy.
Well, you're giving the Puerto Rican fans coming to this fight a lot to look forward to because there's a lot of Puerto Ricans on this card on Saturday night. We look at the fight card right now. William Ortiz against Carlos Misael. Stephanie Pinheiro, 147-pound title fight against Diana Tapia. Then you got Yankee Rivera, terrific prospect at 112 pounds. He takes on Victor Sandoval. Angel Fierro moving up to 140. He will take on Alfredo Santiago, I'm sorry, and then Matias against Paro. As you look at that undercard, which of those fights excites you? Which of those fights think is most
Look at the
compelling?
opening one, you know, William Ortiz against Misial. You've got two Puerto Ricans. I mean, they're in a head-to-head up there.
Yeah.
Look, like, it's massive for them. You know, Stephanie Pinheiro looks like a real good prospect, 147 pounds, could go on and fight Sandy Ryan as well. For me, the one I'm really looking forward to is Rivera against Sandoval. These little guys give us absolute wars. You've got 3 Mexico against Puerto Rico matchups on that undercard as well. And last time out, Rivera was in a brilliant fight, dominated his opponent, then got hurt in, what was it, the 8th or 9th round, ended up having a war. He seems to be a popular guy. Olympian, you know, strong amateur pedigree, still only 5 fights in. I think if he wins on Saturday, he's ready for a world championship at flyweight.
All right, so if Sergio finds a washed-up Puerto Rican at the bar tonight, can you put him on the card?
We'll
Mexico
100%
I'm in.
do it.
versus
They'd have to
Puerto
be
Rico.
very washed up.
Very,
That's the only thing.
very washed.
Yeah.
Very washed up. Well, a lot of good talent here on this fight card on Saturday. Matias against Paro, live on DAZN.
Huge event in Puerto Rico. Take over the 140-pound division. This is a guy that has unbelievable power. Ice running through his veins. This kid is very special. Pound for pound, one of the most exciting fighters on the planet. It's going to be war. It's going to be violence. This is the homecoming of Puerto Rico's new boxing superstar.